The second fetter is doubt, perplexity, uncertainty, and skepticism. We are not concerned about here with intellectual positions. You may understand the situation completely, but it doesn't mean you have eliminated doubt. That's why there are people who practice for decades and they still regress. They say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm giving up. Doubt here does not mean you don't understand the principles, but it's about commitment. Without that commitment, no matter how many textbooks you have read, you can still easily give up and stop pursuing your goal. This is an emotional inability to commit oneself, unwillingness to make up one's mind. You waver. One day you're very committed, the next day you're pursuing your worldly desires, and the next day you're pursuing enlightenment. You're going back and forth, that is doubt. Not because you don't understand the concepts, but because you are afraid of making a commitment. And there are people who like to be in that position because they don't have to ever make up their minds. For example, if they're afraid of observing the precepts, it's because they don't want to find faults in themselves. They say, well, if I don't ever have to uphold the precepts, then I don't have to discipline myself, and therefore nobody can fault me. Sometimes they purposely put themselves in that comfortable position to avoid the discomfort of challenging themselves. Right? So that is doubt, inability to make a decision. And it is a reluctance to put one's heart into what one does. The reason that this is a hindrance to liberation is because one is not committed and one is not integrated. We have to be oneself, one integrated person in what we do. We have to be able to tell ourselves, this is who I am and this is what I want, and not to be distracted, and not to be afraid of making that commitment. So we want to overcome this fetter. We have to make a commitment. We have to be one integrated person, not multiple persons in us popping up. One day we're very motivated, the following day we're uninspired. One day we want to pursue enlightenment, the next day we only want to pursue the worldly joy. That is disintegration. Integrated person has one direction. All the psychological, mental, all the energies flow in one direction. A stream entrant, you flow in one stream, right? If you're in a stream, you flow in the direction of that stream. And that's why that person can progress, because everything is flowing in one direction. So doubt is really a lack of integration, not an individual, but a loose congeries of selves, different selves popping up. So out of this association of self, one self will emerge to commit the whole person to a decision. The next day, another self will reverse that decision. So we don't want to be disintegrated. Being disintegrated is that you're moving in one direction, and then another self will pop up to tell you, hey, don't do that, go in another direction. So one self gets enthusiastic only to be replaced by another self that is uninspired. Everyone is familiar with the state of affairs, but it is particularly obvious to people who meditate. Until we practice Buddhism, we don't see the struggle. And that's where it becomes more obvious. For example, one wants to meditate, to learn Buddhism, but another part of ourselves does not want to follow. So we're struggling, we're being pulled in different directions. So one self gets going with its meditation, dragging all the other selves, protesting in its wake. We want to study, we want to commit, but all the other selves are pulling us back, and we're trying to pull all the other selves with us. We want to practice meditation, but there are parts in us that say, hey, let's watch TV. Let's go out and enjoy the day. It's a great day outside. Maybe not today, it's kind of hot today, but on any other days where it's great, let's go out. No, I'm dragging you with me to my meditation class, or my Dharma lecture. So we're dragging ourselves. So we don't have that commitment. Those cells will pull us. We're going to lose that tug of war. There's only one self that's pulling other selves. If you don't have commitment, you're going to lose that tug of war. So in this way, we drift through our meditation. And in this way, we drift through life. Pull in one direction, then another. Wasting time is how we disintegrate. We want to study Buddhism. We want to be liberated this lifetime. We're motivated, but then yet we're not committed. So we're going back and forth, we're wasting time. And then when we get to our 60s, 70s, and even the last moments of our life, we don't know where to go. We are disintegrated. There's not enough energy to push us over the bound into the stream so that we can assure ourselves that we will not regress. So we have to try at least get to the point of no regression. Don't waste time. So only an individual who is integrated with unified personality can commit himself or herself in such a way as actually to make spiritual progress.